Go ahead and start recording. Okay, and then
You can bring in a book or something.
going to,
Like,
hold on one second. Let's see if I can make this work. Hold on. Should be able to do it this way. Okay. So can you see my screen now?
yeah.
Okay. And then where is presentation mode percent? Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously this is a coaching opportunity call for those people. I'm going to, you both know me, so I'm not going to go too far back with all of who I am, but I'm going to try to roll really quick because it's late and because it's just a brief overview and it gives you a general idea, and you'll each have different specific questions. So if you will save those to the end, I'll try to roll past quick. So as you know, my name's Laura, and on this call today, I'm going to cover how I got into coaching, a little bit about my team and the two teams above me because we all work together, a little bit about Beachbody as a company in general, what coaching is and what coaching's not, and the different coaching options and the compensation plan. And usually that's what most people are interested in hearing about. So as you both know, and anyone that joins this call or listens into the recording, I have 3 children, 2 biological, 1 adopted. My wonderful husband, we've lived all over the world now at this point. We're constantly moving. And before this, I think, Julie, you probably know this, but Ray, I don't know if you do, before I became a mom and gave up working to do that full time, I have been pretty much everything under the sun as far as careers. I have been a private investigator for insurance fraud. I have been, I'm going to try to mute this real quick. Hold on. Because I think for the background noise of people that are, when we're listening to the call. So can you still hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. Okay. There we go. All right. So I've done a lot of different things in my life. I've worked with kids that were expelled from school and tried to help them get back into a school program or get a job or different things. But the foundation was always that I wanted to help people. And I never felt like I sort of got to that mode. I felt like there was always something broken in the system or something wrong. And I didn't feel like I was effectively helping anybody. I started coaching in Beachbody, and I'll tell you how that happened in a little bit. But I've been doing that since February of last year. And how that started is I was just trying to help one person, and that person is my mother-in-law. She was 65 at the time. And ever since I met her 10, 11 years ago, I have been trying to get her to be healthy. And you may or may not know that I lost my mom pretty early. I was 24, and I have been blessed with an amazing mother-in-law. And she is just a caregiver and loyal and all the things that you want in a mom. And it's been really nice. But the one thing that she hasn't done or hadn't done was take care of herself. And after losing one mom, I didn't want to lose another. And so I had been watching friends of mine from high school for a couple years do this program. And I called one of them one day and said, hey, do you have somebody that she can identify with? She's not going to identify with you. You're only 40. I see what you're doing is successful. I believe you. I know that you're legit. Do you have somebody that she can identify with? And she hooked me up with this girl, and her mom were coaching, and my mother-in-law, and she hit it off really well. She said she would do the program, which I was completely shocked. And I was really worried because it was when my father-in-law passed away, and I just thought she's just going to spiral and this is going to go from bad to worse. But she decided to do the program, and she was super successful at it. She, at 65, she was able to do all the exercises and, drink the shakes and eat the meals and do everything that she was supposed to. And she lost over 40 pounds. She's still on her journey. She's had some ups and downs, but she is by far so much healthier than she was before. And I was like, hey, this thing works. So I kind of got excited about it. And I will tell you a little bit about my before. Now, the thing with me is I don't have some huge weight loss crazy journey like a lot of the people that I work with every day and a lot of the stories that I hear. The legit stories of people losing, hundreds of pounds or even 50 pounds. I lost 16 pounds. But for me, kind of the position, let me tell you about the position of where I was. Like, I was skeptical of this program. I was skeptical of the shakes. I was skeptical of the business. I thought that I was healthy, but I really wasn't. All the things that are there. I didn't take time for me in a healthy way. Like as a parent, when I was like, I just need some time for me, that meant going out with my friends and drinking and feeling awful, or, having a dinner with my husband and just forgetting about everything for a little while. But I didn't put my own health and put myself first to help other people. Like, that was a low priority for me. And I sort of ate well, but sort of didn't. I would eat things like turkey and fish, but I was also pounding chocolate and, drinking too much wine and all kind of things. So I was overwhelmed and I was uncomfortable. And I was also unsure of my ultimate career path because, Chris and I made a decision when we decided to have a family. We purchased houses and cars based on a one income. And it was really never expected for me to return to work while the kids were young. But I kind of wanted to prepare for that. And I was sort of always thinking, I've worked since I was 14 and I always wanted to have that return path carved out. So we were living in China and I started taking an anatomy physiology classes because I was thinking, oh, maybe I really like yoga and Pilates. And I was thinking, maybe I'll coach that when I get home. Maybe I'll be an instructor. But it always bothered me. And I would say this, especially when the studying was hard for those classes, like, I like taking those classes a lot, but do I want to stand in a room and correct people's posture and do this and not be doing it myself? So I couldn't ever marry that together, but I just sort of continued on. And meanwhile, that's when my mother-in-law said yes to this program and did it. And so in the back of my head, I sort of filed it like, okay, maybe when we get back, I'll start this coaching thing and get involved with that, because I kept lobbing people to my friend. And one day she asked me, hey, how about you? And I was like, oh, I don't need it, because you can see from my pictures on the left there from February of last year, I was not skinny fat. I don't really know what to call it, but I was smaller, but I wasn't healthy. And that's a tricky place to be. Like, if you're a larger person, people can look at you and be judgmental, but I can walk into a doctor's office looking like that right there and they'll be like, oh, you're fine. So it's a little bit sneaky because I definitely wasn't healthy. And I didn't really know what I was missing out on is the bigger issue. And the picture on the right is that was not from Beachbody. That's me. That was about 6 months after I had my second daughter, Indigo. And I just put that up there because I remember when I saw that photo, I wanted to burn it. I never wanted anybody to see it. That's actually from a computer. I don't even physically have the picture because I think I threw it out. But I remember thinking when I saw that picture, like, oh, I guess just like I'll never be the me that I once was after having kids. Like, I just thought you get older, you had kids, this is like your new norm, at least within that range. So here are my after pictures, and here's the transition of how that progressed. So you can see February, March, April, and May. So it took me, I lost 16 pounds and 12 inches within that 4-month period. And, what that's not showing you is what I felt inside, because yes, the physical transformation's there, but really inside how I feel from fueling my body properly and understanding health and fitness in a whole different perspective than I did before really just changed my perspective and made me start craving good foods and understanding good choices. And, I understand how to improve on things and how to help other people do it. And I know how to help others. And so I just jumped on board like pretty much immediately when I started doing this. And what you don't see in that is I was just under a tremendous amount of stress in the beginning of last year from us moving back from China, buying 2 cars and a house and transitioning our kids back. And my dog was dying and we had a flea infestation at our house. I mean, it was just, we were just piled on with stuff, and I had no business taking on a coaching opportunity. But because I was so blown away by everything that happened, I was like, there's no way I can not do this now. So I really just jumped on board and haven't looked back. And that picture on the right those are jeans that I had in storage. And when I pulled them out of storage, they had been there for 7 years. I was like, I've had these jeans since before I met you, and there's no way I'm going to ever fit in them again. And my husband's like, why don't you just keep them here? You're thinking about doing that program. And I just laughed at him and I threw them in the back of the closet when we were moving, and I fit in those again. And that was only after like 2 months of doing the program. And the picture on the left is from a leadership conference that we went to, but I'll sort of get into the leadership conference in a minute. So this is the team above me is called Fit and Fearless. Heidi, she's my coach. I talk to her multiple times every day. We're there for each other. And the team above that, you can see in this top left corner picture, the girl on my left, or when you're looking at the picture on the right, Tracy. I've known her since high school, and her coach, Kelly, I've also known from high school. So I felt pretty good going into the program that it was legit. But then when I did it for myself, I was, like I said, blown away. So those are just names that you'll hear if you take this call any further than this. But I just wanted you to know that there's a huge network that's out there, and it's not competitive in any way, shape, or form. It's there solely for your support, because we'll get into the compensation later, but everyone has a vested interest in helping each other, but they do it out of the kindness of their heart anyway. So it's really cool to be part of a group of women. I don't know about you, but I just find it as an adult, it was really hard, especially with me moving around so much. It was just hard to make women friends. And I feel like I've gained this whole family of friends, and they're all awesome. And they live all over the country. And when we get together for events, it's amazing. So this last event that we went to was a leadership conference that I qualified for. And it was in Connecticut, which was freezing, but it was so much fun just to get together and break bread. I've been talking to these girls online and through our phone apps that we use and stuff for about a year, and just to get to know them on a personal level and to understand how different we are, and yet all motivated by the same thing. So it was really awesome. And it's just, I've never been in a job where you love your coworkers as much as I do in this situation. So Beachbody as a company is huge. If you've never heard the name before, you probably have heard the workout programs that they've done. Insanity, 21 Day Fix, Hip Hop Abs, Size, Hardcore, 21 Day Fix, P90X. You've probably heard one of those before, and they started off as just purely an infomercial type company. And they were around for a little while, and they weren't having that much traction, and they realized what was missing in people being successful. And that was that they needed personal connection. And that's when the coaching opportunity was introduced. And they realized by people being able to identify with their neighbors and their friends and their family helped make them infinitely more successful from Beachbody as a company and the people being successful in their journeys. So that's how the coaching opportunity was created. And the thing that you need to know about Beachbody is pretty much everything that they make is gold. If you watch any of their programs, they're very professionally done. They are effective. And if someone wants to lose weight, these are the programs that they can go to, and they will be successful if they apply the principles. And they are super supportive. They give, just for doing the stuff that I'm already getting paid for doing, they give you so much more every month. When you hit your goals or you do whatever, I get free items. Last month was a yoga mat. The month before that, there was a motivational speaker that we got to have a private call with, or actually the month before that was, I got a call like a private call just for the people who hit a certain number with the CEO of the company. They're always finding ways to motivate you. And I can truly say that I almost wish that they were called something else, because Beachbody seems so shallow, but they truly, truly are focused on, helping people not be just burdened by weight and all the health problems that come along with everything that goes with it. I mean, if you look at our country and the obesity rates, and if you just look around, I mean, that was really shocking for me to come back from Asia and just sort of just see how incredibly heavy Americans are. And really, it's a worldwide epidemic. But I definitely think that it's a bigger problem. No pun intended. It's a bigger problem in America. So anyway, they're super engaging, and they are super generous. They're always giving away stuff and always keeping it exciting. And there's tons and tons and tons of training. There's almost too much. Like, it's hard to navigate through sometimes. So all the tools that you need to succeed are provided within the company and also within our team. So you're not just out there trying to do it on your own and figuring it out. So this was, again, from that leadership trip. This is not everybody that went, but it's a good portion of the people that have qualified for it. And like I said, we traveled to different events together. Every one of those ladies that you see there has had either a giant physical transformation, but they all have had mental transformations of their own that have driven them and motivated them to jump on board and start coaching. And a lot of them, like my coach, she was in corporate America for 17 years, and she just left her job to fully pursue coaching. And, she hasn't looked back once. So it's a flexible schedule, because it's definitely something that you do on your own time and on your own schedule. So like with my two older kids are in school, but my youngest one is not. So I get up early and I do my own workout and my own personal development and my own quiet time. And I do a little bit of work, and then I wake them up. And then when John's napping, I put in more time. And then usually when the kids go to bed, I put in a little bit more time. But we'll get into how much the time commitment is in a minute. So what coaches are, we're just regular people, dreamers, leaders, workers, motivators. A lot of us are parents, encouragers, and entrepreneurs. You definitely have to have an entrepreneurial spirit, because it is, at the end of the day, your own business. I am the president of my company, and it's just one of those things that I'm constantly thinking about work, but in a good way, if that makes sense. So what coaches aren't, you don't have to be, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't be a coach because I still have weight to lose, or I haven't even started my weight loss journey yet. But people identify with you when you're real. It's not, oh, I look like a Barbie doll and you should do this and this will work. I mean, people identify. The most responsive posts that I've ever done are the ones where I'm showing the struggle that I'm having with wine, or that I'm, I just fit into this. Like, people identify with you. You just have to be real. And which brings us into the next one. This is not a sales job. You're not like, hey, you're not phone dialing people and saying, I've got this new product that you want to try. Like, you're really just making friends with people and talking about what you do. So it's not for salesy, schmoozy people, not for poachers. We don't try to steal customers from other coaches. It's not a get rich quick scheme. There is a exorbitant amount of money to be made in this business, but you're not going to do it in a week or a month or 2 months. You have to put time in, and you have to be patient. And if you are solely in this business just to make money and you don't really like people, this is not the right thing for you to do. You truly, truly have to put people's best interest first, and you have to be willing to listen to them and be patient and find ways to encourage them. And if that is truly your heart, then the money just comes in. And then again, you don't have to be done with your journey, because really the biggest transformation for me, like I said, was internally with the energy that I had. But it's also, my journey has transformed over the last year. I mean, I'm doing things that I never thought I would do. I was completely skeptical at so many steps during this journey that I've had. I was like, I'm not a shake person. I'm not someone that can do home workouts. I'm not going to call people and invite them. I'm not going to post videos on Facebook. I mean, I literally was like, so, but this has been an evolution for me, and I'm so excited that I finally, have sort of let go of that and all abandoned, because I've seen, the thing is that when you see people's lives being changed every single day, for me, that makes me jump off and just want to jump in full fledged. And actually, this guy that I listened to put it this way the other day. He said, if you truly believe in the products that you're doing and what you're doing, if you're not sharing it with people because you think that they're going to reject you, then you're being selfish, because you're more concerned about what they think about you than their health and wellness. That just puts it in such a nutshell for me, because that really is the only reason that I ever got scared and didn't want to invite anyone or talk to them about it is, ooh, what if they think I'm trying to sell them something, or what if they tell me no? And it's kind of ridiculous. Like, the worst that I've had one person all year that I've been doing this, like, kind of give me a rude answer. One person out of all the people that I've talked to. People just usually say, not right now, or I'm not interested. That's the worst that somebody can say to you. And then the rest of them are like, oh, tell me more. Oh, I'm interested, or I have a friend, or I've already done this. Like, there's no negative feelings. You just like, okay. And there's so many people that, if you think about all the people that you know right now, if I asked you to think in your head, if you thought of every person that you know, they either know someone that needs help, they need help themselves, or they need help later in life, or they want to help other people. Like, that's the categories that people fall into. So here are the coaching options. There are different levels of coach. And the first one is a discount coach. And that's simply people who want to use the products and get a discount. They're not interested in sharing the business with anybody. They just want to get a discount on the products that they use. And then the next level is a hobby coach, which is, if I'm being completely candid, I thought that I was being the next level, which is a business builder. I was like, I'm all in. But I was really, because of all those hesitations I was having, I disabled myself, and I essentially was a hobby coach. Like, I would share here and there, but I wasn't really doing the encouraged behaviors, which we'll talk about in a minute. But those hobby coaches are in it. It's totally fine if you want to be a hobby coach. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just laughing that I considered myself a business builder, but I was actually a hobby coach. But the hobby coaches are looking just for a little bit of spending money, and they help run our support groups that we run, which I'll get into in a minute. So the business builders are people who are all in. They're looking for financial freedom, which when we go over the compensation package, you'll see that that's a very attainable goal. And they're into recruiting other people to do this with them. They are leaders, and they provide trainings, and they're getting training for themselves, and they're all in. They're just hungry to learn. And that's where I'm at right now. And I couldn't be more pleased with my options. So a day in the life. So one thing that I just thought of that I didn't put on this slide was the challenge groups that I just mentioned. There is so much material already out there. You don't have to be a health expert. The material is already there. All you need to do is be able to listen to people and inspire them, and listen to what they're having an issue with. And then we work together as a team to help provide that. I mean, I have people all the time, like, have you ever helped a person that's breastfeeding? Have you helped a person who is taking insulin? Like, if you name the issue that someone's having, either someone single-handedly in our coaching group has had it, or they have already had challengers that have had it, or, customers. We call them challengers because we put them in challenge groups or accountability groups. So each and every day, Beachbody encourages you to do 4 vital behaviors. And the first one is to be a product of the product. If I am not doing the exercises and eating clean and drinking my shakes, which I always drink my shakes, that's not an issue for me. But if I veer off of my exercise, or take it a little easier, or I'm not, I am not committed to doing things the way that they're intended, my excitement always dims down some, and I can tell. And I always have to check myself. or my coach will say, hey, have you started a new program yet? Because when I start a new program, I'm super excited about it and I get all ramped up and I go through it. But then towards the end, you're kind of like, all right, and you kind of flop around. Like right now on Monday of next week, I'm starting a brand new program, a different workout program, and I'm a little bit scared to do it. So this week I've been taking it a little bit easier, quite honestly. I'm still working out, but I'm not in a daily program that's laid out for me every day. I'm sort of cherry picking right now. So the first behavior is to be a product of the product. So when you're doing that, you are on fire and people can tell. It's just, you have a natural glow about you and natural excitement because they work. And then the second thing is inviting. And I did not do this for probably a few more months than I care to admit, because I was scared of what people would think about me if I was like, hey, do you want to do this program? Because instead of looking at it like the gift that it is and that it was for me, I was more worried about what people thought about me. And so as soon as I let that go and I started inviting people, I started to have a significant more amount of success. And the third one is personal development. And outside of all the jobs that I've had, real estate was the only one that required you to have, personal development, which was just licensing improvements. But this, having personal development a part of my life every single day, I do at least 10 minutes of personal development every day, has drastically changed the way that I see myself and that I see other people and my attitude towards things. So, and the last vital behavior that they encourage you to do is to recognize people. And if you're on Facebook or social media of any sort of kind, it is a rough deal right now. Like people are just, tearing each other down, especially with all the politics and everything. So I enjoy doing the recognition. I probably should do it a little bit more than I even do, but I love, calling out someone to be like, hey, thanks for doing a great job on this, or you're doing a good job on this. I think lifting each other up more in this world is what this world needs more of. So that is a vital behavior. And so we try to do that every single day. So for the hours spent, this is extremely variable because, again, there's discount, hobby, and all-in coaches. And even with your all-in coaches, I'm an all-in coach, but I only have so many hours during the day. I already get up at 5 to work out, and I need to go to bed at 9:30 or 10 in order to make that happen effectively and to not be a zombie the next day. So so I only have a set amount of time. So I probably put about 2 hours a day in, but I am constantly thinking about it just because I feel like it's a fuel and a passion inside of me that's been ignited. And so I'm constantly thinking about how things fit into that. And I just see people all the time and they fall into one of those categories, but it is variable. They're like my boss, this is her full-time job. When her kids go to school, she'll spend 6, 7, and 8 hours on it. So it really just depends on what it's just one of those things. You get into it, you get out of it what you put into it. So, you'll make it happen to whatever degree of level of success you want to have. And then so average compensation, this is the question that I'm sure most of you are super, super interested in, but I have to tell you that I'm going to show you this file just to show you that I'm not hiding anything, but it's completely inaccurate information, only because just what I told you, some people can put in 10 minutes, some people can put in 2 hours, some people can put in 6 hours, and two people, the same people, person A, person B, can both put in 3 hours, and person A's hours may be 100 times more productive than person B's. And that's not like, oh, you could make this. It's just, it depends how quickly you can hone your skill and really get in there. And I'll show you a slide to show you what that looks like in a minute. But right now I'm going to pull this up. Okay. Right now I'm going to pull this up. This is Beachbody's. This is Beachbody publishes every year as a public document what their coaches are making. And this is kind of, I wish I could make this a little bigger without, make that bigger. Can you see that? I can't see you, or I can't hear you. So I hope it's okay. So, and there's different ranks of coach. Don't get lost in that. But like, I'm a diamond coach right now, and the average earning is about 14,000 that they put there. But again, the low earning was 510, and the high earning was 131,000 plus dollars. So don't get all wrapped up in that. Some people make diamond in a month. Some people, it takes them a year to make. Again, it's completely based on your own, like how much you want this, and how well you hone your skills. So it really is all over the board. I wish I could give you, like, you will make this, and that it, again, will just depend upon, how well you do. You can see that as a star diamond, which is anything above a diamond. There's 10-star diamond, there's 2-star diamond, that the high earners on that made over $3 million, and the low earners made 4,000. So again, and the average being 97. So it really is just, you can't give an average. I hate to say that, but it really is based on your personal efforts. But I'm going to show you a couple examples here of people that are in our company. These examples stuck out to me for a couple reasons. And you can see, like, especially this girl on the left, she said, she candidly admits that she was not consistent with the behaviors that she needed to be consistent with. And she said she wished she hadn't slacked off for the first 4 years. So you can see, starting in, and those are weekly salaries, obviously. And you can see from like 2013 to 14 is where she clearly got it. She went from making $551 a week to $3,500 in a week. And then this coach on the right, in January of 16, she was making $18,000 a week. And then I don't personally know those coaches, but these coaches right here on the next page, I personally know them. They're within our group. They live in Orlando. These two cute little things here right now, they're not even over 30 years old. And they worked the business together. Don't get too caught up in BC. That just means business center. Once you get to a certain level, you can open another business center. Their first year, they both had full-time jobs at that time, but they were pulling in an extra 25 grand. And again, your first year, that's pretty great, because you're just trying to figure it out, and, just trying to get rolling. And then it doesn't have their 2016, but I know that Chelsea made the $1 Million Club this past year. So they're doing a great job, and they're clearly crushing it, and they have big hearts, and they really care about people, and they're really trying to help people get better. They have a great story. I can share that with you when we have more time. So if this sounds even remotely interesting, I know that's very high level. I've covered a lot of stuff. Please message me. I'm going to take you off mute here in a second. You can let me know if you think you would be interested in being a discount coach and just getting a discount on the products. If you want to toy with it and be a hobby coach, or if you think this is something that you could go all in, and you want to know, how quickly you can get to one of the more bigger compensation plans. So let me see if I know if I can get you back off here. Let me see. Oh, cut me off. All right then. Oh, it didn't cut off. Hold on. I thought it cut me off. Okay. Can you hear? I can hear you. If you have any questions, I think I just have a couple minutes left, because it cuts off after a certain minute time. So I rolled through it like super, super quickly, but I just wanted to give you high level so you understand what it is, that kind of how it's set up. So hold on. Do you have any questions? Hold on, I can't hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you
I
have
don't have,
any questions?
I
Like
don't have
based on my
questions now.
okay. All right. Well, if you want to kind of just process it all, I know it was a lot. I ran through it really quick, but I just wanted to make sure I give you like the all overview of what my life looks like and what we do as coaches. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
I'm gonna digest it tonight, and then
Okay.
as you
Yeah,
can
it's
tell, I'm
late,
like
so
sick.
get some sleep and whatever it all.
Yeah, I know. I'm like trying to fight this cold, and I gotta put Ellis down. But
Oh, I'm sorry you're not feeling well.
yeah, it's all right.
Well,
But
go
I'll
ahead.
see you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you in pickup line. Thanks for joining in.
All right. Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Hey, Booger. In the bed. Come on.